It's Thursday, July 23rd, 2015. My name is Rim.
My name is El Scato.
And this is El Geeknights. Tonight, we're going to talk about belts and onions. Let's do this. So I uploaded a video that I can't talk about because of my promise to not talk about something until the end of summer. But I'll link to it. You can watch this video.
Great.
So
Shouldn't
independently,
that be a thing of day or meta moment? Why is that an opening bit?
Because it's the closest I can get to talking about that topic. Because that topic is a thing that affects my life on a day-to-day basis. Everybody's gaga. So last night, for about 30 seconds, I thought I was dying.
Don't you think that pretty often?
No.
How about that time in RIT when you couldn't breathe because your throat was allergied or whatever?
I didn't think I was dying. I just thought that really, really sucks.
What about the time we had Lyme disease?
That time I thought I was dying. That was the other time.
Okay.
Of course, that time I remember.
What about the time something went through your leg?
I didn't think I was dying. I just thought this is going to hurt like a motherfucker when I go to the doctor. And it actually didn't because they doped me up.
What about that time you got a rocket to the face?
I've never actually gotten a rocket to the face.
No?
A bottle rocket hit me in the shoulder once.
One time we played Quake, you got rocket in the face.
I believe the rockets...
Pretty sure you died.
I believe the
it's
rockets...
kind of dramatic. There are bits of you all over the place.
We're primarily hitting you, and they're not called bits. They're called gibs.
I'm just saying.
So
you definitely died. What at the time you tried to jump over that hole and fell in?
So I'm laying in bed, sleep, and I wake up. And I go to roll over, and both my arms are kind of numb. Not just one, like the typical, you fell asleep in a weird way and your arm fell asleep. Both my arms were numb.
I've had that.
And my neck hurt. So I'm like, and I kind of wiggle my shoulders. My arms are just like, bleh.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yep.
Okay.
And my neck is feels thick and heavy. And I'm like, am I having a stroke?
No,
so I lay there for a second.
That's not what a stroke feels like.
And then 2 or 3 seconds later, my brain, the rest of the brain wakes up and says, dude, think about how you're laying. And basically, I was laying with one arm behind my neck, holding my head back, and my other arm was crossed underneath it. I had tied myself in a knot and cut off circulation to my arms.
Yeah, that's happened to me once or twice.
Yep. But it was interesting as part of the lower part of the brain wakes up and says, yo, dog, emergency time. And then the rest of the brain says, yeah, you're just a moron. Stand your back, dude.
If that happens to me, I'm just I've never thought I was dying when that happened. I was just fuck. And then I basically wobble my torso to flap the arms around.
Yep.
What angel is that has the paper arms?
I forgot. Not Milk. Don't remember the name.
You know the one.
Look this up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I just, they just wobble around until they start working again. And it's kind of fun because your arm is sort of like a dead piece of meat. You can sort of grab it. If one arm is working, you can sort of grab the dead arm and flap it at things it's a club.
But usually it's one arm that goes. Shamshell is this guy with the flappies.
Yes, that guy.
Yep, Shamshell.
With the weird head.
Anthropod-like angel with deadly, quote, whips of light.
I'm watching that when I get home. Why would I watch anything else when there's such a good show I could watch?
Well, that's the problem of all things in life. And this is, I don't know if it just happens when you get older and you've seen a lot of stuff, but I could spend a month, if I was locked, I couldn't go outside because the weather was bad. I just watch Ava Esca, Bebop, Madoka,
Did they finish
The
those
Matrix
movies? That you cannot watch all these movies?
You cannot advance.
5.555?
I could watch Interstellar 555 again.
Which I did recently-ish, year or two ago.
So the wiki lists all the angels, because I just went to look at a picture of all the angels to remember which one it was.
Mm-hmm.
The picture at the end is just a bunch of people, and it's like humans.
Okay.
The 18th angel, or the 13th angel. Oh, shit. So in the original anime, humans are the 18th angel. Spoilers, dudes. In the manga, humans are the 13th as opposed to the 18th.
There were less?
Yes.
Which ones weren't in the manga?
The third angel, which is also not in the anime. It's only in the remake 1.1.1.1.1.
All right, so I haven't even seen that one.
It looks like a dinosaur skeleton.
Awesome.
Discovered in permafrost prior to... God
Sounds cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm into this.
Which other ones?
Sandalphon.
Which is which one?
Oh, that's the volcano one. That's not in the manga or the remake. It's only in the anime.
Oh, interesting.
Same with the big spider one that they catch that's dripping the acid.
I've seen the spider one.
It's only in the anime.
Okay.
Yeah, so the anime has the most. The only one that's in the anime that's not in the
Because the anime had more Monster of the Week going on. So they needed more monsters for the weeks.
All right. This article's getting complicated quickly. I'm just going to give up.
Let's pass that on. Okay, so do you have
You
a news?
cannot read this wiki. I do have a news. So when I worked at IBM and all those places before, like, there's this weird culture in American companies where people don't talk about their salaries. And also among friends, there's a weird social culture where people don't talk about their salaries.
It's an American and also other certain countries. I mean, there are countries where it's not a thing, but most cultures on Earth, I think, where people have jobs that pay money, the culture is not to discuss salaries because people might feel bad. Like if you tell them, it's like if you find out someone who's like just got hired is making more than you, who's been there for 5 years, it's going to cause drama. Like it's just people want to avoid drama.
Yep.
So they don't tell anyone.
But at the same time, I feel like both of those factors combined hurts a lot of people who are way underpaid for the work they're doing.
This culture absolutely favors companies and employers and fucks employees. If you're an employee, even though you're worried that there might be drama with other employees if you share your salaries with each other, you have no one to be mad at except your employer, and your employer is the one who is happy that you are not sharing that information, because then they would have to pay a lot more money, or people would quit and they'd have to hire someone else.
Yep.
And since all the information is public, they're going to have to pay that person more money anyway.
Now, a lot of super big bureaucratic companies...
This is why unions are awesome, and
Yeah.
people who are in unions, even today, when unions aren't strong as they used to be, still get more stuff than people who aren't in unions.
So, like big corporate bureaucratic companies sometimes, especially if they're super bureaucracies, like if you know someone's band or level or whatever, like people know what the salaries are within a range, and bonuses are sometimes public.
Yeah.
And government work,
especially
and
if someone's
military,
an executive at like a public company, their thing is everyone knows what
but
their
like
salary
government
is.
military, it's like, what government rank are you? Well, I know exactly how much money you
Yeah.
make and how many vacation days you get. That's cool.
Because there's some structure to it.
So when I worked at a company, I won't say which one, just because. One day I was sitting around and a guy was bitching about his salary, and I was like, I don't know.
I've never actually heard anyone bitch about
He
this salary.
was just pissed off in general because he'd been doing like all this night work he didn't want to be doing, and
Why
I was
didn't
like,
he just say no?
so I was just like, how much do they pay you? And he's like, he says a number, and I said, and he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I make like 20 grand more than that, and I do way less work than you. And he was like, what? Fuck this. And he quit that week.
Fuck yeah.
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 I hope he did well in his life.
You go, good dude.
So when I worked for a broker-dealer in the finance world, like, man, money was, well, that was the company where one, I got a really low salary because I didn't know. I asked for like 70K because I thought that was, a lot of money back then. And they were like, yes, we will pay you that. Sure. And only later did they be like, okay, yeah, we're not going to take advantage of you. But we're
only later, not immediately, because they're still jerks.
They waited until my quote unquote probation, which was 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for 30 days, and then they gave me like a 30K raise. So one day, years later, we're all, like, my team's all sitting around in the office, and we'd been just kind of annoyed and bored for a while. And we'd all been thinking about quitting. So the guy who quit soon after that was like, yeah, so I'm probably going to quit soon. And then we just started talking openly about our salaries and bonuses and everything. And once we realized who all got paid what, it explained a lot. And we pretty much all quit. Like all of us, everyone, within a few months of that.
Mm-hmm.
So the news is that a bunch of Google employees shared their salaries with each other.
Well, they're smart. They would figure this sort of thing out, wouldn't they?
And they basically, it's like when you're playing euchre.
But I mean, you work at Google, and you're a developer and not the security. I'm sure even the security guard gets paid nicely.
Yeah.
But you're Google, you're making money. You shouldn't really have anything to be upset or have drama about if you reveal your salary to someone else.
Yeah, but at the same time, companies, even Google, it appears, pay as little as they can get away with.
Why wouldn't they? They're a for-profit company. That's why unions are good.
Yeah.
If you're in one.
So apparently Google's management actually flipped out about this, and there's a whole drama thread. You can read all this stuff.
You can't stop people from talking. There's no law.
So a lot of companies
Fire them if you want. You can do that. You can fire for any reason.
Depends on the state, actually.
Sure. I don't know what California's up to, but
So,
New York, they could fire you if they wanted to.
Well, it depends, because a lot of companies more recently, like in the last decade, part of your employment agreement, because usually there's some kind of NDA, like I won't release company secrets or whatever, they actually cover your compensation under that.
I would challenge that shit in court, be like, you can't do that.
I have had stock options and equity in companies in my life that I was not actually legally allowed to disclose unless I was exercising them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a complicated issue. All I want to say is I urge all of you out there to be open about your salaries with at least your friends. Like, I know friend drama, money can often be a problem, but
I mean, even if you know, it's like, come on. Like, I haven't discussed all our salaries and exact numbers with all my friends.
They know how much.
Everyone knows who's making more money than other people, right?
Yeah.
Who makes more money? The Rim working in the finance company in New York City, right? Or the art teacher in the sticks.
Yep.
Right? It's not a secret. We all know.
The Scot who flew to PAX Australia for the fuck of it. Or the other friend who stopped going to PAX East because they can really only afford one con a year and they go to MagFest.
Right. It's like, we know. It doesn't. No one's feelings are going to be hurt by the truth that everybody knows.
If they are hurt by just pure knowledge. I'm not talking about...
I mean, if they're not hurt with the general knowledge... If they're hurt by if they're hurt when you revealed the numbers, why weren't they hurt before when they knew already but didn't know an exact
number? Now, of course,
number?
If you use those numbers to be a dick, you're like, I make 7 times your salary.
Then why are you friends with them in the first place?
Yeah. So, but what I urge you is if you have friends who work in your industry, I would suggest sharing your salaries with each other, because odds are one of you is getting ripped the fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing what all your friends are being paid in your industry can do nothing but benefit workers. And frankly, workers are the only people that matter.
Labor.
Yep. Well, even though labor is actually not valuable anymore, I've been recently arguing at length with people that communism as a concept is failed. Not socialism, but communism was destroyed by modernity. Like, well, I guess post-modernity, industrialization, in the sense that labor is actually not that valuable anymore.
Nope.
Like, the workers are not the means of production. Capital and technology are the means of production.
Yeah, the
tech workers...
There's always that picture of all the workers, right, holding up the big plate with all the big fat...
No, they're all next.
Right?
They're all next to the computer that has one person typing at it.
Exactly. It's like we could all let go of the plate and it would float on money and rockets.
So seriously, guys, like I'm curious actually, because I have said my salary on Geeknights many times in the past, like a number.
The only reason I don't say my exact number because I actually don't fucking know.
Yeah,
I started with a number that I don't even remember that was just slightly more than what I had at my last company, and then I got a raise every single year.
See, I don't get raises.
That's like a percent. That's like 1.5 or 5. I think was it 5? I can't even know if it's 1.5 or 5%.
See, I don't get raises, but I get complicated compensation things.
Mine's really straightforward, but there's been a raise like every year, and it actually sort of happens frequently. Like my boss just be like, "Oh, by the way, you got a raise. I got you the most raise you're allowed to get," and it's like, okay, that seems like this happened yesterday, and it seems like it happens pretty often. But I don't ask for it; it just happens, and I don't know the actual number now. I know the amount of money that I get that goes into my checking account, but that is nowhere near the salary that I have if I multiply it by 24 because I get it twice a month, because they're taking so much stuff out. The taxes are coming out. The healthcare is coming out. The 401k is it's like 15% or something. That's coming out. So it's like I had to do a lot of math to figure out the exact number or ask HR, which I really don't care.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's just an interesting thing. We'll see if this story continues into any meaningful dialogues.
Yeah, so what did Google do to these employees?
Nothing. There's just a big drama feed right now.
Oh, okay, deal with it. So in a money-related issue as well, right? We've talked a lot on Geeknights about ads and how internet ads are fake and it's a big scam or whatever, right? You know. But this guy, he wrote this really short thing called Why You Will Never Escape Ads by Paying for Content, right? Because we're always like, oh, you pay for Netflix, why should I have to see ads? I'm paying for Hulu, why should I have to see ads? And he brings up a point that is common sense once you hear it, but I had never thought of it exactly in quite this way. And the thing is, advertisers, they want people to see ads, right?
Yep.
Who do they want to see ads?
Ideally, people who are either dumb or who are likely to become customers of their thing.
That is incorrect. According to him, people who are buying ads want people who have money to see their ads. Someone who can afford to pay to make ads go away is somebody who has fucking money and can buy shit.
God damn it.
So you want them.
God damn it.
You want them
I
to
did
see
not
it.
think of it from this angle.
Right. So the more you are willing to pay to keep ads away. So think about it. Let's say you charged $100 a month to have no ad Netflix, right? Advertisers are going to be like, holy fuck. There's a group of people who can afford $100 a month to not see ads.
Yep. I'll pay $1,000
I
just
will
like
pay
one
so
of these
much.
motherfuckers
I will
sees.
pay so much money to have my ads target only those people. The more ads, the more people will pay to keep ads away. The more advertisers will pay to show ads to specifically that group of people. So this is why you cannot pay to make ads go away, because the more that you pay to make ads go away, suddenly Netflix is there with like a car company telling them, we will give you $5 million to let us advertise to the paying customers who are paying $100 a month. And Netflix has to be like, do we just say no to like $5 million for nothing? It's a hard choice.
Well, I mean, as noted, Hulu, even if you pay, still has ads.
And then this guy also refers to another article that I haven't read. This is actually a 3-paragraph deal, right? But it's just the point is so good. He says, consider the recent opinion piece by Thomas Wells, Is Advertising Morally Justifiable?
I read that article. I was going to talk about that in the future.
By Thomas Wells. So, read this 3 paragraphs. Pretty much I already told you everything the 3 paragraphs have to say. But then read the other one, Is Advertising Morally Justifiable? Perhaps in the future, quote, perhaps in the future it will be just as illegal to broadcast this type of material as it is to mass distribute malware, because that's what advertising is. It's brain malware.
So there was another article that I'm not going to talk about in depth because I kind of want to talk about this on Monday. Smartphone apps, a bunch of them, have been collecting $850 million in fraudulent revenue by hosting ads, not displaying the ads, but just lying and saying people saw the ads. There's we already know that like a huge percentage of all ad clicks and ad views just pretty much across the board are fake, either from botnets or whatever. Yep. And that's not even counting all the ads that don't get shown because of ad block. It might actually be way higher than that. I would push that estimate up to 70, 80%. And this is just even more evidence for that. So advertising is a big circle jerk scam, independent of the even more disturbing concept that you brought up that I hadn't thought of until just now. Also, as a kid, we had cable way early, and we had HBO from a little satellite dish way early. And there weren't ads back then. Like, there were not ads on cable.
Isn't that HBO's deal? Pay for the content and no ads?
Yeah.
Which is why HBO has a lot of money.
But then we got cable, and cable showed movies and had all these channels, and there weren't ads when we first had cable.
When cable was new, it didn't have ads. That was its deal.
Yeah.
And then it had ads.
Yep.
Because of probably this reason.
Well, it had 3 deals. The first deal was, you live in a town that doesn't get reception, we'll have one community antenna and a cable that distributes the stuff from that antenna.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. But no, that era is irrelevant and archaic and is not in any way germane.
Well, I mean, you probably, in your antenna days, right, you probably only got like Detroit TV.
No, we got like 19 channels plus.
Yeah, okay. So we were in Connecticut. So on antenna, we had all New York stations.
No, we got like 30 channels. I'm enumerating in my head. We had channel 2, 4, 7, 14 were all like major networks, plus 20 and 50.
Right, but like
Fox.
we had 2 of each major network because we had New York and Connecticut.
Yep.
So it'd be like
I got Canada.
We had 2 different NBCs, 2 different ABCs, 2 different CBSs, right? So you could watch, even though a lot of times they would both show the same thing, like, well, Football's on New York NBC and Connecticut NBC.
Yep.
You had nightly news on ABC. You'd get Connecticut nightly news on 8, and you get New York 7, eyewitness news on 7, even though they're both ABC.
We'd get a lot of Wisconsin content, 8 o'clock, 7 Central.
We had 2 PBSs, and then there were all the local stations, right? Like Channel 20 or 21, like the Connecticut station. You watch cartoons after school, stuff like that. But then we also had New York ones, like 11, where you could watch the Mets and whatnot.
Yep.
So we had like double stations within the antenna days, which is probably a lot of the reason why we didn't get cable for so long, also because it was expensive.
I remember Channel 9 was Canadian TV, and that had all the cartoons, like the best cartoons all the time.
Canadian TV, I mean the government cartoons, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, that was the one, Inspector Gadget was on at a better time on the Canadian network than it was on whatever, I forget what channel.
Well, there were also Saturday morning cartoons in those days.
Yeah, there were. There were. So, things of the day. So this is actually pretty cool. I have a video here that is happy family of kittens, bird, and puppy.
What kind of bird is it?
Just like a little parakeet.
Okay. So
the interesting thing about this video is that it's from 1955, but word in color, this is just YouTube from today.
Okay.
But the reason this is on YouTube is
it looks like it was shot, though, in a studio, not in a home.
It was, because there was no amateur video production back then like this.
Yeah, how are you going to set up a big old film camera from the 50s in a home?
Yeah, with a giant light that's giving anyone cancer or whatever.
Yeah.
So, Associated Press and British Movie Tone got together, and they have uploaded, it says million minutes of historical video added to YouTube.
What's the license on this video? Copyright AP?
Yeah, you can't reuse it.
It's not public domain,
but
or
you can
Creative
watch
Commons.
it. Sure. Yeah, you need licensing to use it, but you can watch it. They just put it all up for everyone to watch forever.
Is it just one YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, it's on this YouTube channel. I haven't looked.
Is it organized in any way?
Seems to be. You can go to a website and search for stuff. There's lots of cool.
That's useful.
Like the bombing of Pearl Harbor, like some firsthand stuff of that.
I don't need to see that.
The 1906 San Francisco earthquake, collapse of the Berlin Wall.
What are the good
Square.
Things to see? More kittens.
Happy family of kittens, bird, and puppy.
Thanks, great.
There's a lot of that. A lot of old building construction, like
Any
Empire State Building
things
stuff.
To see?
I don't know. I have not fully gone through this yet.
We got to find the nerd stuff. Where are the nerds from the 50s?
120 years of video. The only thing that bothers me about this, other than it should be Creative Commons in some fashion, but I'll take it, is that minutes does not seem like the optimum unit to use to measure this.
They got to have the most impressive number they can. If they said how many videos, they'd be like, yeah, about 1,000 videos.
I would have put it in hours or perhaps days.
Like 1,000 videos are uploaded to YouTube like every second. There's no, you can't really brag about like, we uploaded 1,000 YouTube videos.
Yep.
Good job.
But really, minutes, dude, like I see what you're doing there.
All right, anyway. So, for my thing of the day, I dug back to what used to be the most common source of things of the day. And
reaching back for glory.
The glory of Japanese television.
Oh.
So, there's a show on Japanese television called, gonna mispronounce the name, Sekai no Hate Made Itek, which means riddles at the ends of the earth, ! And
I recognized Sekai and literally nothing else.
Yes. The Itek is spelled Itteq, which I've never seen as a Japanese spelling before. I mean, a romanization. Anyway, so in this video, they are demonstrating a material called the Predator Shield, which is basically like a glass that you would use at a zoo to keep, animals in.
Oh, so not like Predator Shield.
No, something you would use, maybe like on windows of a vehicle on a safari.
An actual predator, like a bear, not the predator.
And in this video, there's a schoolgirl or a woman in a schoolgirl outfit inside of a box that is 6 sides sealed with...
Oh, good God, she looks terrified.
She is terrified. With Predator Shield. I don't know how she's breathing. There must be a hole in it somewhere.
Yep, there's a hole right there.
Okay. And there's just a real fucking bear, like, rawr, I'm a bear. Gow gow. Like attacking this box that she's in, and she's holding a camera pointing at the bear. She's somehow managing to keep the camera aimed at the bear.
Now she's not. Look at this.
While also being terrified for her life because this bear is actually ferociously attacking this box. Thankfully, it seems that the Predator Shield product works and protects you from bears, but that doesn't mean you should subject someone to being in a box that is attacked by a bear. You could have put, say, I don't know, honey in the box and had it be attacked by the bear to prove the bear could not get the honey. And that would have been an ample demonstration.
But then it would not be Japanese television.
No, it would not, nor would it be a thing of the day.
In the meta moment, the book club book is The Wheel of Time.
I read a bunch more of it yesterday.
How far'd you get? Like, what happened recently?
They're running away from the town.
The Bearlawn?
Yeah,
Beartown?
Beartown. Yeah, a lot of bears going on. They're running away from Beartown.
Yes, they're in the inn. And so it kind of gets left behind. I'm pretty sure Chucklefuck in the alley totally ratted them out.
Yeah. They even said, man, that Chucklefuck is going to rat us out. And then,
yeah, that
if anyone's going to rat us out, it's going to be that dude. And then, yeah, pretty sure he did.
That conversation they had with that guy, those two, Matt and Rand.
They should have just stabbed that dude.
They should stab Rand and Perrin. Matt and Perrin.
These guys got to learn a lot more from other long quest adventurers like my man,
Oh, the warder?
like Tetsuro.
Oh.
Just gun people fucking down.
Yep.
Shoot first to survive in this galaxy.
Yeah, Count Mecha, he didn't even give him a chance. Just like, Badoo!
Right. That's how it's got to be. You got the heron sword. That should be as good as a heron spear.
It seems to be.
Right. Just let it go.
But those fucking kids, it's like every time something important happens, two of them will go off and be like, man, please don't tell anyone. Yeah, we shouldn't tell. The wizard is trying to save us, or the knight who has saved our lives so many times, or the bard who's super smart and knows what to do. Let's just not fucking tell anyone.
Yeah, that bard definitely seemed like an untrustworthy character.
He's the most trustworthy.
He's obviously he's just a super skilled, awesome, trustworthy bard. Unlike he's forky. He's not spoony in any way.
You know why he's so forky? Because he's a selfish prick. But he doesn't want to die.
Why wouldn't he want to die? He's also mad skilled. He's so high level.
Yeah, he's skilled and self-preservative.
I think he might be like my favorite fictional bard.
Yeah. Because he's kind of a prick.
Not that there's that many bards.
I think he's like 12th level bard, like for serious bard business.
He's got, he captivates the room every time without even trying.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But, those kids just, I had a dream about the big bad. Yeah, don't tell anyone about that.
We all had the same dream. Let's not tell the wizard.
Oh, my finger's literally bleeding after the thing happened in the dream. Not going to tell anyone about that.
Yeah, anyway.
Still sitting on that one.
The most important news is that very, very soon, the week before Labor Day weekend, unusually, is Penny Arcade Expo
Prime
2015, the real one.
The PAX
not
of
the sideshow.
PAXes.
The main event.
Yeah, this isn't fucking Ravenna. This is the Rome of PAX.
Once a year, bitches. It's coming. It's real soon.
6 days if
Nothing
you also
in your
go
life
to Dev.
matters between now and 1 month from now.
I have 6 days of PAXing.
That's right.
Yeah. So on Sunday, we're doing the far future of gaming. It's us.
Actually a panel.
Yeah, there's 4
Not
really...
a lecturer.
We've got 4 really smart people and us 2.
Yep.
And then on Monday, Sports Are Games, which...
us 2.
Yes, but that panel, we submitted this shit 6 months ago. Suddenly, a lot of for real stuff is happening in the gaming world that's making that panel way more important and topical.
At first, the panel was just going to be about hey, nerds, just because you're nerds, don't be disrespecting sports, they're games.
Yeah, football's more German board game than test of athleticism in some regards.
But now it's got a 2-topic deal because esports and whatnot.
Yeah,
right?
from the drug use to now drug testing, cheating,
There's
rules,
so much to talk about. I don't know if we're going to fit it in the hour.
Yeah, because I don't want to drop the original concept of the panel. I want to add this stuff.
I think it's going to be a half and half.
I think it will be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, of course, I'm lecturing at Kaifu on UX and story games and game design and all that stuff.
Kaifu is not spelled the way you think, so if you want to find info...
Chai-Fu.
Yeah.
Computer Human Interaction Forum of Oregon.
It's in Oregon.
I can't believe I remembered what that acronym stood for.
Well, if you're going to, if you're going to speak there, you should know.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, everybody, welcome to PAX. Shifu.
Yeah, so... At Kineticon, not only did the slides I used for our losing panel still have a bunch of references to PAX, but it literally ended with, now enjoy PAX.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We're like those rock stars who just don't even fucking know what town they're in anymore.
Hey, everybody, New York, woo! And this is Philly. Yeah, fuck you, Philly, New York, woo! Woo!
You know, I imagine a comedy skit where the band comes out and they're like, "Hello, New York," and the guy's like, "It's Philly," and the guy just like drops his mic and walks off the stage. Concert's canceled.
Just like, oh, fuck you, assholes.
So belts. When I
Running out of Thursday show ideas, unless it's book club. So
when I was a kid, and
we're pretty much down to types of food and articles of clothing.
When I was young, like as a little kid, a belt was something that my mom made me wear when I had to wear a suit to go to like a wedding or a funeral or something.
Yeah, I did not wear a belt until like I was in high school, except if I was dressing up.
Yep. And a lot of that was you don't tuck your shirt in. And if you're not tucking your shirt in, probably don't need the belt unless your pants don't fit.
Right, and the only reason to wear the belt, because if you're tucking the shirt in, is because pants look stupid if they're sticking out and there's no belt on them. Just a bunch of loops and shit with nothing.
Well, that's the thing. If you tuck your shirt in and you're not wearing a belt, you like that's it. Game over, man.
It looks bad.
I mean,
it's not styling.
Well, there's no.
You
excuse.
don't have to know anything about fashion to know that that's not good.
In fact, there's no excuse because what? If your pants don't have belt loops, so it's what like sweatpants. Yeah, you tucked your shirt into your sweatpants, dude. Okay.
Your track pants with
but once in high school, I started wearing a belt because I started wearing slightly more fashionable jeans, and I would occasionally do the thing where I'd tuck a shirt in, but then I'd have another shirt or something on and wear like a jacket or something.
I wore a belt to keep pants from falling down.
I had one belt. I got a really nice like black leather belt. It was the only belt I ever wore, no matter what. Because I just never, kind of like how I only owned one tie, a thin black silk tie.
I had one belt, but it was not a black belt. It was brown. And this was when the style of the time was not the onion style, but it was the style where the belt was a bunch of like thin strips of leather
braided belt
that were all braided together.
That was not the style when I was in high school where I lived.
It was the style for quite a time where I was.
What year are you talking about?
Like you would go to the store and that's the only belts they had.
What year are you talking about?
I don't remember. I just remember that's the kind of belt I had for a long time. Maybe even into RIT I had that same belt.
You know, actually, I'll bet it comes down to, because, you know, the internet wasn't really fully internet back then. I suspect that fashion varied widely depending on where you live. Like Michigan, kind of behind the curve. Like in high school, you know what was actually kind of what like the semi-cool slacker skater, you know, like the sub-popular set, like the sub-genius. They often wear like semi-baggy black or blue jeans, a flannel shirt like over the top, unbuttoned, just like open, and like an ironic t-shirt, like the Dare shirt underneath that.
That's a typical 90s fashion.
Yep. Maybe you'd wear some like boots and get the boot cut jeans. Maybe.
I didn't wear boots if it wasn't snowing.
I wore boots a lot in high school. I wore like engineer's boots or motorcycle boots, but that was just, you know, I've lived in Michigan. I had a mustache. That's how things were.
Rim is not the person to look at for fashion with his toe shoes and his kilt.
See, I'm not where I didn't count for non-sporting, mean-spirited convention bingo.
Rim's sense of fashion with the toe shoes and the kilt, that ain't recent. Look at right. Rim from high school had the same fashion sense. He just didn't have the same money, and there weren't the same. There weren't the same things on offer. Utilikilts didn't exist then.
If I could have gotten a Utilikilts in high school, I would have fucking been wearing that.
That's what I'm saying.
However, even then,
you have not changed.
Even then, I would have known better than to go with the Trilby, because the Trilby went from that seems like a cool idea to oh hell no in about 30 seconds.
Anyway,
but when I got to college, I just had that same belt. One day, the belt broke.
Yeah, my Weavy belt. I think, you know.
I remember that Weavy belt.
I think it might have died, and then I think it died twice, and I think I replaced it with a Weavy belt. I don't know when it died. I just remember twice having belts die, and one time replacing it with a similar belt, and then again replacing it with a not Weavy belt.
See, now the reason I want a black belt,
because belts last a fucking long time. What are you doing to it?
Yeah, but
like, are you just rubbing your like hips against the wall every day or something? I mean,
but you had a brown belt. So did you have a black belt for when you were dressed up, or
yes,
did you?
I had a black shiny belt for wearing a suit
that you
or
only
whatever,
wore when you were wearing
that
a suit.
I only wore when required.
Yep. So I chose black because all the jewelry I wore was mostly silver, so it was like black, and I had a silver buckle on it, like silver-ish, and basically, if I couldn't wear gold jewelry really because it wouldn't match the belt. I wasn't gonna own multiple belts. That just seemed crazy.
I didn't wear jewelry, so
well, I did. So yeah, but I had to buy a new belt, and I bought an identical black belt that lasted me until like it died a couple years ago. So I didn't expand my belt purchases until relatively recently because I kickstarted this weirdo belt, and now I have 4 of these things, and they're the only belts I wear when I'm wearing clothes.
I have one of them.
Yeah. So
we are not sponsoring this belt. They didn't pay us any money. They don't know us.
Yeah, but pretty much this belt is great in the sense that it solved a problem that I kind of wish had been solved for me with belts earlier, that you cut it to be the exact perfect size when you buy it, and it is literally the perfect size, and it has no belt holes in it at all.
Yeah, that's it. Not only belt lengths can be an issue, right? But not, especially if you're some in-between size and the store only has like 30 and 40. It's like, I need 35, bro. Why don't you make that? You cut the belt, but the belt is attached to the buckle. You can't.
And you don't need all those holes because your weight's not going to fluctuate that much.
Right. So, but the real issue is the holes. Because even if you have holes on the belt, even if the belt has a lot of holes, okay, so you pull the belt and use the closest hole. All right, well, this one's too tight. That one's not tight enough. And you poke a hole in the belt in the middle.
Which you shouldn't do.
Right. And now it's the right size, but you just ruined your belt by poking a crappy hole in it.
Plus, if you use one hole for even like a little while, then it kind of gets worn in on that hole, and it looks stupid if you use any other hole.
Yep.
So you can't be like, better loosen the belt. Better.
You lose some weight and you tighten up the belt, one stop in the summer because you lose your hibernation fat or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, now this ugly beat up hole is sticking out where everyone can see it.
But yeah, so I kickstarted this belt and it's great. So now I own 4 of this belt, and I only own one other kind of belt in the world.
I bought 1 buckle for this belt system, and I bought 2 belts, a brown one and a black one.
I don't think you can change the buckles that well, actually.
I did. It worked fine, and I don't change it too often either.
Yeah, but what if you change it like often?
I'd buy one. If I have to do it often, I would buy one more.
Thing is, I won't wear brown belts because literally nothing I own goes with a brown belt.
I rarely use the brown one, but sometimes I use the brown one.
So I have basically 3 black ones with 3 different buckles on them.
I don't need different buckles.
Well, the thing is, one of them I wear every day to work, so it's getting kind of beat up.
The buckle is getting
buckle's getting kind of beat up.
I've never had a belt buckle break.
Just wearing it every day, all the time.
I wear it most days.
Yeah. And then I got one with like a black buckle, like black metal that it kind of blends in really well when I wear like formal wear. But basically 2 of those belts I wear like twice a year. So that, because when you wear a nice suit, like you want the belt that just looks perfect. You don't want a belt that has like wrinkles in it, like it looks like the shitty belt.
Then
you
it
wear to
suddenly
work.
stands out and detracts.
Yep. It's like, oh, nice 3-piece suit and shabby shoes that you obviously also wear to work.
Right. It's like if you're wearing a suit and like you have a shoe and there's like a big gash on it, it's just like, it's like anything that's like perfect just sort of blends in and is unseen. But anything that's like a negative mark like sticks out like this, like it's glowing. Right? Yeah, like the hip, like the weak spot on a boss.
Yep,
right?
That's totally the weak spot. And then the 4th one I got, I bought the gray belt, but now I realize that I don't really have anything that goes with it, so I've never worn it.
There's not. Have you ever seen anyone wearing a gray belt?
Actually, I was looking through my clothes. I found like some. I looked through because I have a bunch of white jeans.
Even with a
wear.
gray suit, do you wear a gray belt? I don't think
no,
so.
I wouldn't wear a gray belt with a gray suit.
What do you wear a gray belt with?
I wear a gray belt with.
I guess when you wear gray socks, what do you wear gray socks with?
Old. You wear it with old.
That's old man clothes.
Yeah, you wear that with old. So when I'm 70, start wearing that gray fucking belt with my white fucking pants.
Even that's weird. Usually
the gray belt actually works really well because I have one pair of proper jeans, not like the spandexy, like hipster stuff that I usually wear, but they're like old school, like heavy, straight down jeans. And they're white, like fucking white. And they work really well with that gray belt, but I don't
guess
wear.
That's kinda.
Yeah, but
I've never seen you wear white jeans.
Well, because I don't wear them that often because they don't stay white long.
Yeah, I bought white shorts and I was like, these are gonna get really dirty really fast. They did, but I'm just like, well, fuck it, I knew that was gonna happen.
See, shorts is okay, but that's the other thing I realized long ago. So this is the other kind of belt I have. Wearing a leather belt with shorts looks really stupid.
Not if they're like nice shorts.
But who wears nice shorts? I wear comfortable summer shorts. I have a pair of like khaki
the kind
shorts.
where like you see the guy who's a model standing on the sailing boat and he's all like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but here's the problem. I wear shorts and I'm like biking or it's hot out or whatever, and I sweat. And when leather belts get sweaty, they start to deform.
Yeah, I'm not doing any sort of physical activity.
But I need a belt, so I have a bunch of canvas belts that I use for anything that doesn't need a real belt.
So a lot of the shorts I bought recently, like
they come with that like kind of fake-o fabric belt.
Like this one I'm wearing right now came with a belt.
The ones I'm wearing now, I don't have the belt in, but they also came with, it's not a canvas belt, it's just a fabric belt.
This is like, it's sort of some sort of woven thing. It's sort of durable. And then it's basically just on the other end, instead of a buckle, there's sort of like these two metal loops.
Yep.
And so the size is only going to be perfect because there's no holes. You just pull it through these loops.
But because it's not leather, it's comfortable in the summer.
And it matches the pants because it came with the pants.
Yeah,
you don't have to do any thinking if you don't know anything about fashion.
I keep all those belts with the short that they came with.
Exactly.
And maybe I could mix them up. No, I don't know how that works. It'll probably look stupid and I wouldn't understand why.
Why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
It was like, oh, shorts plus free belt. Hey, not bad.
But
I don't have to wear my other belt with these shorts.
When I was a kid, I was a Cub Scout, right? Cub Scouts had that military belt with the weird, like the metal buckle.
Oh, I had that. Yeah,
that has like the weird pin in it.
I know the one.
Yep. So I had that, and you know what? I always hated that thing and thought it was stupid.
It's a stupid belt buckle.
But I did have a use for that kind of belt in my modern life because now one of the things that I do, hiking and running and like running through the mountains of Hong Kong or whatever. I often need a belt for the kinds of pants that I wear to keep them like secure and like in the right place. Can't use my leather belt. And those woven belts, like I don't want to get those dirty or fucked up because they go with those shorts. And I don't want to ruin them. And also I need a belt that's durable.
You're going to ruin the shorts before you ruin the belt.
It depends.
How's the belt going to get ruined?
So I bought I bought 2 canvas belts on Amazon.
How many
for
belts do you have?
So they're like $2.
You went from like 1 belt to 100 belts. I got like 1 belt for each short that came.
I have one leather belt for daily use
and 2 other belts.
3 leather belts for like dressing up, like fashion,
so
like business
belts.
stuff. I have every pair of shorts has the belt it came with.
Are you sure you're just using these belts for wearing? You don't have an abundance of belts for other activities?
If I was going to use other activities, I can think of different kinds of. I'd have velour belts.
Sure,
but. The canvas belts were like $2. They're as strong as a seat belt. They got the 2 loops in the front, just like yours do. Those are for camping, hiking, rock climbing, that kind of shit. Like hang some stuff off of my belt.
I don't think I need a different belt for that.
You don't do that stuff, so you don't need that kind of belt.
You need a different belt for that.
I'm not going to wear a leather belt like hiking through the mountains.
No, but the belt that goes to the shorts is
I'm not going to take it off of the shorts and like put it on my pants that I'm wearing on the mountain. That seems like a pain.
Anyway, yeah.
Plus, I could use those belts to like splint a leg on the woods if I ever like mess up my leg.
So the one kind of belt that I never really understood, I guess it's just not the style of these parts or times, is the giant cowboy fancy belt buckle. Like the really fucking big ones.
I think those things look hideous, but other people have other tastes.
So I think someone wearing one looks hideous. If you're actually a full-on cowboy, it at least matches what the rest of you are wearing.
And that's fine. Like if you've got like if you have a bolo tie on, you are allowed to wear a narrow range of weird belt buckles.
Right.
Like, that's okay.
The thing is, like if someone has a collection of these things, I think that's kind of cool to like look at them like because it's like more advertising space for your geekery, right? It's sort of like you can have a belt buckle for your favorite sports team or you give it like a Netrunner belt buckle, or just it's space to put something awesome, the kind of thing that you would put on a tattoo, or on a T-shirt, or on your face.
But it's usually Confederate flags or like bullets.
Obviously, it's usually guns or Confederate flags or bullets or cows or something stupid, right? But just the aesthetic of it is usually very uncool. You have to sort of go all in on it to make it work, and if you're the kind of person that it works for. Some cowboy person, I'm usually going to have a skeptical view of you unless you prove otherwise.
Actually, you know what it's like? The trilby and the fedora. They look great on a person who is wearing all the other clothes that go with that kind of hat.
In the year 1930-something.
Or even today. Like, I go to fancy, like, Wall Street parties, right? Occasionally you see someone who's wearing, like, a snappy...
The fancy Wall Street party in the Art Deco ballroom.
No, but they're wearing like a snappy semi-period jacket, and they're basically
in the Waldorf Astoria ballroom.
Like those kinds of hats.
Not in the modern hotel ballroom.
Those kinds of hats work
in the
fine
old hotel ballroom.
if you double down on it and wear all the things that go with it. But if you're wearing an expensive fashion hat like that, with a nerd t-shirt, a tweed jacket, utilikilt, toe shoes, vape pen. It's just like the belt buckle.
You know how you go around the city and sometimes you see that old guy whose fashion is just like, right? And it's like, damn, where the hell did that old man get his clothes?
Like Chase was describing a guy like that. It was this old gentleman.
Did that old guy get his clothes so long ago that he's still wearing them? Or is there I'm sure there's some place in the city I can go to get the clothes that look so amazing when you're an old man. You're so style, so jazz.
So I learned the secret of how to look like that. Unless your hobby is fashion, you go to
a place and give them a lot of money.
Yeah, you go to a fashion tailor and you say, make me look good. Here's a bunch of money. And they will give you a bunch of outfits and you just wear those outfits and never question them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually talking to a dude. So, because I got some shirts, right? From a coworker friend who
started a shirt business.
Yes, and he gets some like these really like slick bespoke shirts made in Turkey.
Oh, so bespoke.
Well, he talked about the machines and like how many different like
shirt nerd.
Well, because I got some special shorts for bouldering.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is these shorts, if I wear in bouldering, the front will just get scraped off by the rocks in the wall. It's like sandpaper.
Okay.
And might hurt myself too. Like I'll scrape myself. So the shorts are like really durable, like really heavy, but they also have more pieces of fabric than like normal shorts do. Like here, crotch kind of just comes together like normal pants do. These things have gussets in the crotch for full range of movement, all the stuff you need. Like they're specialized equipment for a specific sport.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason normal shorts don't have that stuff, even though they're a lot more comfortable,
because you're just walking and because it looks stupid.
No, you wouldn't even see. You wouldn't even know if I was wearing these shorts unless you like put your face under my crotch and like took a good look. It's way more expensive to have the machine that can do those extra pieces of fabric when you're making the shorts in the factory. The shirts are the same way. So this guy's like, yeah, I had to get this machine that can do this kind of cut and this kind of cut and this kind of thing. And I learned a bunch of stuff about shirts. So he knows some people who make like the ultra, like, you know, this, like the 3-piece suit that like a famous person wears to like the Oscars. That's like a unique suit that's weird. They make that kind of stuff. So he offered to introduce me, and I might be able to get like one suit from these people.
But doesn't still going to cost you thousands of dollars?
They might work with me just because they seem like really super cool dudes.
It's not cheap. It costs them thousands of dollars to make the suit. The material is
expensive. But maybe I might be able to get a deal where I'll pay for the materials, but they're not going to charge me like what they would charge for their time.
It's still going to cost thousands of dollars.
But it's not going to be. It's going to be Iron Monkey style.
So you'll get a $10,000 suit for $6,000.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's still, I wouldn't buy it.
I think they might charge more than $10,000 for one of their like ultra.
Yeah, probably.
But so I hadn't met them, but he described them, and then later I went to a Wall Street party and I saw a person, and I was like, "Oh, damn!" Because the suit this guy was wearing was crazy.
What kind of belt was he wearing?
I didn't even notice because the suit was so crazy.
That's what happens a lot, right? It's like, I think about these old guys with their so style that I see in the city, and it's like, what kind of belt were they wearing? I can't even imagine it.
Because the purpose of the belt is just to blend in. If you notice the belt, the suit fucked up.
The belt is functional, unlike the suspenders, which are only functional if your pants are really heavy like a fireman.
Or if you like 20s style, pants don't have belt loops.
That's true, too.
So you have to wear suspenders. Like, that's just how it goes.
You hide those suspenders. You don't show them off.
Yeah, unless you're the businessman style, taking your jacket off.
That's right.
Anyway, so the suit was crazy. And it was like on the edge of being the scuzzy suit that a homeless person in the 20s would wear, but well done on purpose to be fashion. Like, the suit was crazy. And then later I was like, was that one of the people? And he was like, how'd you guess? Was it the suit?
Yeah. If I had, if I cared, if I was actually...
Yeah, I'd pay someone to make me look good.
Right, but like I want to, I don't actually want to be looking like the old guy who's so style. I want to be like, the ultimate badass dude with the black suit who looks so dangerous.
Yeah, the guy who's wearing an all black suit, black shirt, black tie, black belt buckle, black
Right.
everything. He's got an obsidian ring and a black knuckle duster.
Like that guy must be a secret agent over there. Look how badass he is.
Yep.
He's
Wearing
a
black
dangerous-
sunglasses, doesn't say a word.
That is a dangerous individual. The problem is I don't have the body of a dangerous individual. So I put that suit on, they'll be like, who's that guy with the hunch wearing a suit that doesn't fit?
You could possibly pay someone to give you a dangerous looking body too.
How does that work?
Personal trainer. He's gonna make you go. He's gonna take you to a gym and tell you to do stuff.
But I can't even do the push-up.
He'll figure it out.
I'm not going to magically do the push-up if they tell me to.
Maybe he'll make you do the knee push up.
I've tried to do. I can't.
He'll make you do the wall push up.
I mean, that's a push sideways.
Yeah,
I could
you'll
do
push
that.
sideways until you can push down.
Why would I pay money for that?
So you want to? So think of this. I can do like a bunch of pull-ups. Like I can just do a bunch of pull-ups.
Did you see
now.
the pinky pull-up guy?
I can't do that.
Okay.
I can.
Some guys just recently set the record for pinky pull-ups.
I can do 0.
Me
I
too.
can do.
Me too. We're tied.
I can do a quarter of one and probably break my pinky. That might happen.
We're tied. It's great. I'm just as strong as you. We can do the
So,
same number of
I
pinky
can. I can
pull-ups.
do like 8, 9, 10 pull-ups like easy. But so rock climbing, there's an exercise thing called a campus board, which is basically these little wooden nubblies
It's not the people who decide to kick you out of college because
no.
you misbehaved.
sticking out of a wall, like thin pieces of wood sticking out of a wall. Like you grab them like this with your fingertips,
Oh, I've seen that.
but then they go up the wall at an angle like this.
Mm-hmm.
So
I haven't seen that.
I can get like 2 or 3 steps up that thing before I fall off, flailing like a monster the whole time, just woodly, 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 woodly. But then I see people who are way better than me at rock climbing who basically just walk up the thing with 2 fingers of each hand, just like boop, 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 boop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if I paid a personal trainer, they could make me like that over time.
Are you gonna do that?
No.
The other thing, I mean, we're getting way off the belt topic, right? But you hire a personal trainer. How do you know they're not like Randy bullshit personal trainer and they're legit personal trainer?
I don't know. Maybe there's certifications. Maybe you
They're
just.
gonna start being like, all right, we did these exercises. Go home and drink these herbs and take this nutrition.
Well, then I'd be
nonsense."
like, no. Are you a dietitian or which one's the real one?
dietitian.
Yeah,
is
dietitian's the real one. Nutritionist is the fake one.
Anyone can call themselves a nutritionist.
Yep.
Anyone. I'm a nutritionist. Drink only juice, water, and milkshakes, and hot chocolate. Don't drink coffee. Don't drink soda. Don't drink alcohol. Eat whatever you want, especially if it's delicious. That is the Scott nutritionist advice.
I think we're done here.
Not poison.
I don't think we need to talk about timing belts.
No.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not 1, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.
Not Milk. Don't remember the name.
You know the
trying to look
one.
this up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just wobble around until they start working again. And it's kind of fun because like your arm is sort of like a dead piece of meat. You can sort of grab
Yep.
it. Like if one arm is working, you can sort of grab the dead arm and like flap it at things like
Yep.
it's a club.
But usually it's one arm that goes. Shamshell is this
Yeah.
guy with the flappies.
Yes, that guy.
Yep, Shamshell.
With the weird head.
Anthropod-like angel with deadly, quote, whips of light.
I'm watching that when I get home. Why would I watch anything else when there's such a good show I could watch?
Well, that's the problem of all things in life. And this is, I don't know if it just happens when you get older and you've seen a lot of stuff, but I could spend a month, like if I was locked, like I couldn't go outside because the weather was bad.
Did
I
they ever
just
finish-
watch
did they
Ava
finish
Esca, Bebop, Madoka,
Did they finish
The
those
Matrix.
movies? That you cannot watch all these movies?
You cannot advance.
5.555?
I can watch Interstellar 555
Which
again.
I did recently-ish, year or two ago.
So the wiki lists all the angels because I just went to look at a picture of all the angels to remember which one it was.
Mm-hmm.
The picture at the end is just a bunch of people and it's like humans.
Okay.
The 18th angel or the 13th angel. Oh, shit. So in the original anime, humans are the 18th angel. Spoilers, dudes. In the manga, humans are the 13th as opposed to the 18th.
There were less?
Yes.
Which ones weren't in the manga?
The third angel, which is also not. It's Thursday, July 23rd, 2015. My name is Rim.
My name is El Scato.
And this is El Geeknights. Tonight, we're going to talk about belts and onions. Let's do this. So I uploaded a video that I can't talk about because of my promise to not talk about something until the end of summer. But I'll link to it. You can watch this video.
Great.
So
independently, shouldn't that be a thing of day or meta moment? Why is that an opening bit?
Because it's the closest I can get to talking about that topic. Because that topic is a thing that affects my life on a day-to-day basis. Everybody's gaga. So last night, for about 30 seconds, I thought I was dying.
Don't you think that pretty often?
No.
How about that time in RIT when you couldn't breathe because your throat was allergied or whatever?
I didn't think I was dying. I just thought that really, really sucks.
What about the time we had Lyme disease?
That time I thought I was dying. That was the other time.
Okay.
Of course, that time I remember.
What about the time something went through your leg?
I didn't think I was dying. I just thought this is gonna hurt like a motherfucker when I go to the doctor. And it actually didn't because they doped me up.
What about that time you got a rocket to the face?
I've never actually gotten a rocket to the face.
No?
Bottle rocket in the anime. It's only in the remake 1.1.1.1.1.1.
All right, so I haven't even seen that one.
It looks like a dinosaur skeleton.
Awesome.
Discovered in permafrost prior to. God
Sounds cool. Okay.
Yeah, I'm into this.
Which other one?
Sandalphon.
Which one?
Oh, that's the volcano one. That's not in the manga or the remake. It's only in the anime.
Oh, interesting.
Same with the big spider one that they catch that's dripping the acid.
I've seen the spider one.
It's only in the anime.
Okay.
Yeah, so the anime has the most. The only one that's in the anime that's not in the anime.
Because the anime had more Monster of the Week going on. So they needed more monsters for the weeks.
All right. This article's getting complicated quickly. I'm just going to give up.
Let's pass that on. Okay, so do you have a news?
You cannot read this wiki. I do have a news. So when I worked at IBM and all those places before, there's this weird culture in American companies where people don't talk about their salaries. And also, among friends, there's a weird social culture where people don't talk about their salaries.
It's an American and also other certain countries. There are countries where it's not a thing, but most cultures on Earth, I think, where people have jobs that pay money, the culture is not to discuss salaries because people might feel bad. If you tell them, it's like, if you find out someone who's just got hired is making more than you, who's been there for 5 years, it's going to cause drama. It's just people want to avoid drama.
Yep.
So they don't tell anyone.
But at the same time, I feel like both of those factors combined hurts a lot of people who are way underpaid for the work they're doing. It hit me in the shoulder once.
One time we played Quake, you got rocket in the face.
I believe the rockets...
Pretty sure you died.
I believe the rockets...
It's kind of dramatic. There are bits of you all over the place.
We're primarily hitting you, and they're not called bits. They're called gibs.
I'm just saying.
So
you definitely died. What at the time you tried to jump over that hole and fell in?
So I'm laying in bed, sleep, and I wake up. And I go to roll over, and both my arms are kind of numb. Not just one, like the typical, you fell asleep in a weird way and your arm fell asleep. Both my arms were numb.
I've had that.
And my neck hurt. So I'm like, and I kind of wiggle my shoulders. My arms are just bleh.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yep.
Okay.
And my neck is feels thick and heavy. And I'm like, am I having a stroke?
No,
so I lay there for a second.
That's not what a stroke feels like.
And then 2 or 3 seconds later, my brain, the rest of the brain wakes up and says, dude, think about how you're laying. And basically, I was laying with one arm behind my neck, holding my head back, and my other arm was crossed underneath it. I had tied myself in a knot and cut off circulation to my arms.
Yeah, that's happened to me once or twice.
Yep. But it was interesting as part of the lower part of the brain wakes up and says, yo, dog, emergency time. And then the rest of the brain says, yeah, you're just a moron. Stand your back, dude.
If that happens to me, I'm just I've never thought I was dying when that happened. I was just fuck. And then I basically like wobble my torso to flap the arms around like what angel is that has the paper arms?
I forgot the
This culture absolutely favors companies and employers and fucks employees. If you're an employee, even though you're worried that there might be drama with other employees if you share your salaries with each other, you have no one to be mad at except your employer, and your employer is the one who is happy that you are not sharing that information, because then they would have to pay a lot more money, or people would quit and they'd have to hire someone else.
Yep.
And since all the information is public, they're going to have to pay that person more money anyway.
Now, a lot of super big bureaucratic companies.
This is why unions are awesome, and
Yeah.
people who are in unions, even today, when unions aren't strong as they used to be, still get more stuff than people who aren't in unions.
So, like big corporate bureaucratic companies sometimes, especially if they're super bureaucracies, like if you know someone's band or level or whatever, like people know what the salaries are within a range, and bonuses are sometimes public.
Yeah.
And government work,
especially
and
if someone's
military,
an executive at like a public company,
Yep.
their thing is everyone knows what
but
their
like
salary
government
is.
military, it's like, what government rank are you? Well, I know exactly how much money
Yeah.
you make and how many vacation days you get. That's cool.
Because there's some structure to it.
So when I worked at a company, I won't say which one, just because. One day I was sitting around and a guy was bitching about his salary, and I was like, I don't know.
Wow, I've never actually heard anyone bitch about
He
this
was
salary.
just pissed off in general because he'd been doing like all this night work he didn't want to be doing, and I
Why
was
didn't
like,
he just say no?
so I was just like, how much do they pay you? And he's like, he says a number, and I said,